let's take a look at why plastic surgery is destroying Korea. And it was made 3 months ago. This video is by 2 and 20. Make sure you guys go check it out. I don't know. All right, let's watch it. Let's see what's going on.
September 2016. A 24-year-old university student named Kwon Dae-hee walks into a plastic surgery clinic in Gangnam, Seoul. He wants a V-line jaw, the same sharp, sculpted jawline you see on every K-pop idol, every Korean drama lead, every Korean reality star, and every billboard in the subway. He's been editing his photos for months to preview what it would look like. His family worries, tells him not to do it. Kwon books the appointment anyway. The clinic was prominent. It had operated for 14 years without a reported incident. And most importantly, the head surgeon oversaw every procedure from start to finish. CCTV footage from the operating room shows the plastic surgeon beginning the procedure at 12:56 p.m., cutting into Kwon's jawbone with 3 nursing assistants present. About an hour later, the surgeon walks out.
Like, what the fuck?
In his place, a recent medical school graduate with no plastic surgery license enters the room and continues the operation. The surgery takes over 3 hours when it should have taken less than 90 minutes. After the operation, the nurses are left to monitor Kwon as he bleeds. They mop the blood off the floor 13 times. Medical professionals later assessed that he had lost roughly 3 times the amount of blood
my
the
lips
doctors
are ashy.
reported. Kwon's brother receives a call that evening. Kwon is not doing well. 7 weeks later, he tragically passes away, only 24 years old. Kwon's story is extreme, but the system that produced it is not. In the Gangnam district alone, there are 457 registered plastic surgery clinics. 1 in 5 women in South Korea have had plastic surgery, and among female college students nationally, the figure is roughly 1 in 2. But this video is not only about Korea. Korea is the canary in the coal mine. So the question is not why Korea became the plastic surgery capital of the world. The question is whether the rest of the world can avoid following the same path. This is Korea, the first plastic society. To understand how Korea got here, you need to go back to the Korean War. In 1954, an American military surgeon named David Ralph Millard arrived in South Korea as chief plastic surgeon for the US Marine Corps. Later, he would be recognized as one of the top 10 plastic surgeons of the millennium by the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. It's funny because he called post-war Korea a plastic surgeon's paradise. Initially, Millard performed reconstructive work on wounded soldiers, civilians, and children. But in the middle of the chaos, he found an unlikely patient: Korean women who wanted to make their eyes appear more Western. I know, pretty crazy stuff. He published papers on what he called de-orientalizing procedures, trained local Korean doctors, and left behind a surgical infrastructure that would grow into the national industry.
I'm sure like plastic surgeons in Korea are literally making money, like a lot of cash of all of this.
7th century. Layer that onto a post-war society absorbing Western beauty ideals through American military presence, and you have a unique vulnerability to surgical self-modification. But plastic surgery was mostly limited to the elite few. It was really a luxury, not a necessity. That was until the 1997 Asian financial crisis. IMF enforced restructuring, eliminated labor protections that led to mass layoffs across the country. The job market was flooded with applicants, and Koreans needed any edge they could get, and that included appearance. A new term emerged, and forgive me Korean audience, I'll try my best. Chuyap Sunghyung, which just means employment surgery. It's cosmetic work to just find work. From 1997 to 2011, cosmetic procedures in Korea tripled.
So in
but
order
as
to be
fast as it was
employed,
growing, nothing would grow Korea's obsession with plastic more than one industry:
look like a
K-pop.
filter.
And K-pop did not create Korea's beauty standards, it merely industrialized them. It took many of Korea's most damaging cultural beauty traditions and just amplified them. And it's a pretty grim picture. For example, entertainment companies recruit trainees as young as 8 to 10 years old, assessing them on physical metrics, head-to-body ratio, daily weigh-ins, and more. Members of Oh My Girl reportedly could not exceed 101 pounds. And in addition to the weight, there is extreme pressure to conform to specific beauty standards in Korea. You've got the V-line jaw, double eyelids, small face, pale skin, high nose bridge. And Korean clinics market a golden ratio face using proportions derived from 1.618. And for those of you confused by the number, it just basically means face width over the length, and that's 1 to 1.618, whatever that is. Let's go over some more crazy stories. Megastar Kwang Hee has openly discussed his extreme plastic surgery habits. He revealed that he has had work done on his nose, eyes, and forehead. And he often says it's his mother that encouraged it so he could succeed in the industry. NCT's Chunla revealed that SM Entertainment asked him to undergo plastic surgery at around 13 years old. Jesse, Chui, Young Chaeun, Teo, Bone, and many, many more.
Went through the
night. It's no longer an open secret. It's very, very public. Most fans would agree that the vast majority of K-pop stars have had work done. And the result is very simple. 25% of Korean surgery patients bring photos of K-pop idols as their reference image. But who can blame them? 93% of Korean firms required a photo on job applications.
What?
And worse yet, nearly 50% of HR managers admitted to rejecting applicants for their appearance. And this is just what people admitted. When this is the work environment, not getting the surgery actually becomes almost irrational. Just as getting degrees increase your chance of a bright future, plastic surgery does the exact same thing in Korea. But rational individual choices inside irrational systems don't stay stable. Two separate loops make sure of that. Once you understand why Koreans get surgery, the next question is why the system accelerates rather than reaching equilibrium. The answer, two self-reinforcing loops are running simultaneously. None of them can fix itself from within. Loop 1, the maintenance trap. Most people think of plastic surgery as a one-time event, but unfortunately, it's more like a subscription. Let me demonstrate. Botox, for example, must be repeated.
But why go through all of that trouble? Like, the world changes what they view as pretty anyways, you know what I mean? Today my nose could be like not the standard, you know, but I like it. But that could change. 5 years from now, like having a wider nose could be a thing. Like having smaller eyes could be a thing. So why bother yourself freaking rearranging your face?
Probably will cost you $450,000. Yeah, very, very affordable. And there's also a psychological angle. Starting Botox at 28 to prevent wrinkle formation and stopping at 35 does not return you to your 28-year-old face. It returns you to a 35-year-old face that looks worse by contrast than if you had never started. Essentially, you can never go back. That's the first loop. But the genetics problem is the one nobody talks about publicly, and it might be the darkest. Surgery modifies phenotype, not genotype. A woman who reshapes her appearance through eyelid surgery, rhinoplasty, and jaw reduction will pass to her children the same genetic face she had before the first procedure.
I don't think
in a society where 1 in 3 young women has had surgery, a meaningful fraction of the next generation is born looking distinctly unlike their surgically altered parents. This is so common that Korean internet has a term for this. Sungyeong Yuchun. Plastic surgery genetics. The mismatch between the face you paid for and the face your children inherit. And there was a story that went viral in 2012. Basically, a Chinese man who had allegedly divorced his wife and sued her after the child appeared ugly, claiming she had spent $100,000 on cosmetic surgery in Korea before they met. Here's the thing. The story was almost certainly fake, published by a Chinese tabloid. The viral photo used was a Taiwanese plastic surgery clinic advertisement, and the children were digitally altered. But the story spread globally and resonated intensely. It articulated a fear that had already existed. And that fear creates a second loop. Here it is. If a mother's surgical investment does not pass to her daughter, the daughter must repeat the investment independently. And Korean culture has actually normalized this. Parents routinely pay $1,000 to $3,000 for eyelid surgery as a high school graduation gift. Like, listen to this quote. A Seoul plastic surgeon told Time magazine, "Parents make their kids get plastic surgery just like they make them study. They realize looks are important for success." Crazy stuff. Each generation performs the same surgical labor as the previous one, because unfortunately, genes are what get passed down. And the human cost of what Korea built is measured in data that is difficult to sit with. A study of 3,227 young Koreans aged 10 to 24 found that 50.4% had distorted body image. The saddest part is the highest prevalence, 55.3%, was in female elementary school students aged 10 to 12.
Why?
Not teenagers, children. Body dissatisfaction starts as early as ages 5 and 6. Roughly 20% of Korean girls at that age were actively dieting or restricting
this
food
is
out of fear
sad.
of gaining weight.
Ooh.
It's so crazy.
You can't
that
even
there's
be a
school
kid. You can't
uniform
even
company
freaking
called
eat.
School Looks that began building small makeup pockets
Who created
inside
this
school blazers for
stupid beauty
girls.
standards?
Just think about this. Imagine being a young person in Korea. How are you expected to
Imagine. Now that I'm thinking of it, imagine if I was literally born in that country. Yeah.
gonna beat inflation? Back to the video.
And I have to rearrange my face to get a job. That is so sad. Chapter
Okay,
3.
a lot of you in the West might be saying, why does this matter for me? I don't live in Korea. Well, here's why it matters. The Korean model is being exported, and the channels are already operational. Here's the first channel. Korea's cosmetics exports hit 11.4 billion in 2025, up from 7.6 billion in 2020. That makes them the second largest cosmetics exporter in the world. And in 2024, it surpassed France as the leading beauty exporter to the American market. And many of you have...
But there's something I don't really trust about it. I feel like these Asian countries, they focus so much on lightening your skin. So, don't the products have like skin bleaching type of stuff? I mean, they seem like they work nice, but at the same time, I'm scared to even touch one. I'll wake up one day being like 50 shades lighter than what I am now. Oh my gosh, I'd cry.
Are now active everywhere. Cosmetic procedures have grown like crazy since the pandemic, and that growth is not slowing down. The global market is on track to roughly double by the early 2030s.
That's what I thought.
The US
like,
is the single biggest spender on aesthetic procedures
cash.
in the world, and even that market is expected to double within the next decade.
I mean, yeah.
And even Brazil already operates a parallel version of the Korean model. Surgeon Ivo Pitangui, known as the Pope of Plastic Surgery, persuaded the Brazil government.
Like the world changes its heart, like years and years. Because I remember BBLs were a thing, right? People literally liked having fat asses and stuff. And then now it seems like being skinny is a new thing now. And after 5 years, being thicker is gonna be a thing. And then next thing you know, stretch marks are gonna be like, because people don't really like them, yeah. What else? Oh, dark circles are gonna be a thing. Thin lips, I think, are gonna be a thing because now people are just so obsessed with having thick lips. Like, things just changes. Now imagine having to like keep up with the trends. How exhausting is that?
With millions watching themselves on video calls for hours daily, not paying attention to anything that they're watching. 86.4% of dermatologists reported patients citing video conferencing as the reason for cosmetic care, when all they could do is just turn off that mirroring setting. 40% of people who had never considered cosmetic procedures were inspired to pursue them by how they looked on Zoom. And there you have it. The convergence is complete. Social media globalizes beauty standards in real time. Medical tourism makes surgery accessible beyond high-income countries. Financing and buy now, pay later platforms lower the domestic barrier.
You wanna be fat?
Non-surgical procedures create a low barrier entry point that leads to surgical procedures over time. And the Korean playbook,
beauty standards
normalization,
are like
institutional reinforcement, generational
So
transmission,
exhausting.
It's already being copied
Imagine
everywhere.
having to keep up with it.
That was a lot. But here's what doesn't get exported. The mass appearance insecurity, the institutionalized hiring discrimination, the generational pressure, the psychiatric toll. None of that shows up in trade data. Korea's brightest medical students are choosing plastic surgery over cardiology, oncology, infectious disease.
Obviously, it makes a lot of
the money is just simply way better. The beauty economy has become a machine that reproduces the very anxieties that created it. Each generation inherits a more expensive, more normalized, more deeply embedded version of that pressure. Like, what are we doing? Remember Kwon
Like, what are we
Dae-hee.
doing,
He did
to
not
be
walk
honest?
into that Gangnam clinic because he was in vain. He walked in because the system
Gangnam?
around him told him, through job applications and K-pop billboards and HR departments and the faces on every screen, that the face he was born with was
Now
not
imagine you
enough.
are born poor
He
in
was
South Korea
24.
and you can't
He had
freaking
been editing
afford
photos for months
what
to
is it?
preview what he would look like on the other side.
You can't
And when
afford
that
this
unlicensed
plastic
doctor
surgery.
walked into the operating room,
And on top
when
of
the blood
that,
soaked the
you have
floor
to find a
13
job.
times, when both
But
doctors
according to the
left and the
beauty
nurses stood there
standards,
alone, the system
you're
worked
not getting any
exactly as it
because
was
you don't
designed.
look like a
It
filter.
extracted
This
the
is
payment
sad.
and it delivered nothing. The Korean cosmetic industry is a double-edged sword. I myself use Korean skincare products every day and they are by
I'm scared
far
of
the
their
best.
skincare.
By far.
I
But what
know they look
happens
like
when
they're
that
the best on
skill
social
reshapes
media, but
society's
they scare me a
expectations?
little bit
When
because
the
I feel like
industry gets so advanced,
could
so
bleach my
accessible,
skin.
so normalized that choosing not to participate, that becomes the abnormal choice. Korea didn't just build the world's most sophisticated beauty economy. It built a culture where opting out actually carries a cost.
Look,
A
like
cost
people
at
look
work,
like
a cost in
paper. Like,
relationships, a
what
cost that
is the
starts
goal?
before
To
you're
look
old enough
transparent?
to
I don't
understand
understand.
what you're paying. The thing is, the products are excellent, the science is
I'm
real,
just,
but somewhere along
beauty
the way,
standards
the
are
line
just
between self-improvement
getting
and
out of hand.
self-erasure got very, very blurry. And the people paying the highest price are the ones the system was supposed to serve.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on my next one. Bye. You can go now. It's okay. Go away. Friend.